Do you know how you make it to your intended destination? One step at a time. One step at a time. Don't try to figure out what your destination is and run towards it and do this and do that. Just take one step at a time. And every one of those steps has to be that you're following God. You're following God into the next thing. You're following God into the next thing. When I think about this book and everything that's taken place in my ministry, I didn't know anything. And people would go, do this, do that, do that. And I'd go, I don't know how. I don't think I should. I don't know. But instead of getting freaked out and overwhelmed and burdened, I didn't do that. I went, man, this is not God. This is not how I'm supposed to be feeling. I'm not going to follow this. I'm just going to follow the next step that God gives me. And I'm going to do what He says, because God knows what we can and can't handle. He knows everything, and He never tells us to take a step that we're not ready for. And so that helps. That helps you know, am I following after God? Am I feeling freaked out? Then this isn't God. Can you keep a secret? Can you keep a secret? God can. Anything you share with God in confidence is between you and Him. He's not going to tell anybody else. Not only can He keep your secret, He loves you enough, in spite of your secret, to make a way for you out of it if it's a bad secret, or into it if it's a good secret. The difference between good and bad secrets are, one's something you're ashamed of that you're keeping from people, and the other is something that God has instructed you to do that you're just not telling everybody yet. If you can listen to God and obey God, He'll take you to where you need to go. And He'll keep your secrets along the way. You know what He's best at keeping secrets about? The plan. Because God tells you what He wants you to know. And He does that to keep us excited about the destination that He has planned for us. Because if you knew everything about the process it would take, you would never be able to keep going. God never tells us how we're going to get there. He just keeps the process a secret. And that's okay, because He's trustworthy, so we don't need to know all the details. I think that's a major problem for people, trying to figure everything out. If you've got it figured out, it's not God. Stop trying to figure it out and just trust Him in the next step. He doesn't tell us the process for a reason. Think of Joseph in the Bible. Now, God tells him the end of the story in a dream, which is that he's going to be on a throne and that everybody's going to be bowing down and following his leadership, and even his brothers, which this is a positive thing because his brothers are really mean to him. Because he sees that destination, he goes for it, and he just takes one step at a time. But God doesn't tell him what it's going to take for him to get there. He keeps that process a secret. Because let me tell you what, he had to be a slave. He had to be a prisoner. He had to be thrown into a pit to start with. And if Joseph had known all that, he'd have gone, no thanks, I'm good where I am at my dad's, being the favorite son, and I'll just do it this way. Thanks anyway. You can keep your destination. But because God kept the plan a secret, and Joseph was willing to take one step at a time, he got to where he was supposed to get. And it's an awesome story. It's an awesome story that brought life to everyone, because he followed one step at a time. Because God kept the process a secret. And it's okay. Your plan for your life may involve losing a husband, losing a house, losing a job, losing a child. I mean, who knows? There's going to be loss in your story. There's no doubt about that. But don't panic. It's part of the plan. It's part of the process. And the process is in place to develop you into being the kind of people who can handle your destination. Listen, if Joseph had not gone through everything he went through, he wouldn't have been able to be a good leader. He wouldn't have been able to feel for the people and understand what they were going through and continue to obey God had he not gone through every single step. But if he'd have known the process too early, he might have never gotten to his intended destination. And that's where peace and prosperity and purpose are found, in your intended destination. So don't despise the process. It's what it takes. God knows that's what it's going to take. So trust God in the process and stay committed to it. If this video said something that helped you, please leave a comment. See you guys later. God's plan works because you don't get where you're going unless you continue. Been clean for 11 years. Wow. You can do it. It'll make a difference.